Just two adjacent girls living in a lovely world. They took a podcast train going anywhere, but kind of specifically through Austin, Texas. Yeah, hook 'em horns.
Welcome back, y'all. Welcome to Adjacent Love and Death, recapping episode 4. What did you title it this time?
What else would we title it?
I don't know.
Red Rum, Red Rum.
Oh my gosh. I was saying, don't ask me that question.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's what we can call it. Don't axe me.
Guys, just this is when it all goes down. So if you are squeamish or at all a little scared of murdery things, then go ahead and just listen to it anyway, because there's some good parts. All right, here we go. All right, so it opens up with Candy pleading with Betty, who is holding an axe. And
allegedly.
Yeah, I think it actually did happen that way, because in real life, Betty did hit Candy with the axe on her head. She had multiple injuries, and she cut off Candy's toe.
Yes. However, there is some confusion on who went out to the garage to get the axe.
Okay. Yes, we don't know who got the axe, but I'm going to say Betty probably did get the axe. But don't worry, Candy is obviously not innocent in this. This definitely sent Candy off of the...
She went into fight or flight.
Well, and she definitely fought. So Betty says she doesn't want to see Candy anymore. Candy is trying to reassure Betty, oh, don't worry, I'll leave you alone. Candy said, I can bring Alyssa, your daughter, back. And Betty's very clear, keep Alyssa, take her to the movies, but I don't want to see you again. So Alyssa's swimsuit is as in the washer. Again, Betty is wearing, she's wearing the ugliest shoes.
Jodi's reading her notes and laughing at herself.
So Betty leaves the axe, but Candy looks like she is going to leave after that, and she's grabbing the swimsuit. Betty gives her some mints and the towel, because...
Don't forget the peppermints.
Yes.
Red rah.
That's right. Because it helps with Alyssa's nausea. She hands the peppermints, and Candy goes to console Betty to apologize, but Betty pushes Candy and grabs the axe. So they are fighting over the axe. The dogs are barking. Betty starts hitting Candy with the axe repeatedly. They're fighting. Alan is calling home at his scheduled time. You can tell there's no answers. So unfortunately, Betty is murdered. And
Alan is out of town, and so back in the day, you had scheduled times,
right?
It's like you left school and you said, "Okay, call me at 6:00."
Right.
And by 6:05, you're in panic mode.
Yeah, you're like, what? They call every time at this time. So, and for sure, Betty was staying home with the baby. So for sure, Betty would have answered that call, So his sixth senses are like, something's not right. But don't get it mixed.
But Betty was also very off before he left.
True.
In modern day, they would say that Betty had full-on postpartum.
I think she had some other things at play as well. Poor thing. Yeah. But don't get it mixed up. Candy hit Betty with that axe 41 times. So Candy is not this, like, I'm sure she went fight or flight, went definitely all the way fight, but come on, like, that's excessive.
Well, and I don't, yeah, it's excessive. However, the way they portray it is like they're having a back and forth, and Candy just at one point has less injuries, so she's stronger, and so she just. But again, I feel there were multiple opportunities for Candy to leave.
Right.
That Betty's not getting up at this point.
Dude, I would have left, like,
I'm sorry, when she was standing in the hallway with the axe,
I would have been like, peace out. I got it.
Hey, you get your own daughter. The conversation is like, yeah, she can go to the movies with y'all. Y'all go about your day. Yeah. I would have been like, no.
No, I don't want you to have anything to do with me or my family. But Candy should have got up and left. The end.
The end.
So that was nuts. But then Candy decides she has blood all over her. She showers with her full clothing on. And this is how calculated this woman is, right? So she was wearing flip-flops, which are an important part of the show. So she gets in the shower, she gets out.
And if you don't know they're important.
Just wait.
Well, they
keep showing a picture of them, right?
Yeah.
They keep highlighting them.
Yeah.
So she gets in her station wagon, she drives home, she changes into clothes that resemble but are not exactly the clothes that she had, but she did put on tennis shoes after.
Because she's missing a toe.
Right. So now, like, she's got blood coming down her head. She has bruises all over. She has a missing toe. Although in the movie, they didn't take her toe off. It was just very bloody. But in real life, she lost her toe, which I don't know. I mean, not to belittle it, but if somebody had chopped off one of my toes, I'd be really upset because I really like to wear flip-flops. Sorry. Forgive me. Just don't get upset.
Oh, so vain.
I'm very vain. I'm very vain. All right. So during that time, a little redhead girl goes over to the house. The dogs are barking, the baby's crying. The little girl keeps ringing the doorbell. There's blood on the walkway. They're showing you this is not good. Remember, there's a little baby in there.
Yeah.
And a brand new baby. So Candy is driving and she turns on her music. My Sharona comes on. She immediately turns that off because that song. I'm sorry, it's not my favorite. It's a little annoying. My Sharona. Yeah, good, Shelly. So I guess there's a mixture. Some people say she hit her with the axe 41 times. Some people say 47. So she's driving down Main Street, Smithville, which is Wiley, and then she goes to her house. She gets into the carport. She goes upstairs. She starts taking off her clothes. There's bruises everywhere. She's washing and drying her clothes. She uses Tide, the box. Do you remember how you'd have to take that big box with all the powder? I was like, oh my gosh, I remember those days. Those things were heavy.
That was cool, and it was before you had a scoop. They didn't have a scoop.
You had to just pour it and hope for the best.
Yeah, and that recreate when Peter put too much laundry detergent in for the Brady Bunch.
Oh, right.
And Alice had to clean up that mess.
And of course, there were bubbles everywhere. Like, that would really happen. It would just seep out onto your floor, but it wouldn't be all bubbly and frothy. So she goes back to the church. While she's driving to the church, she's playing the song, Playing with the Queen of Hearts. That's a good song that goes.
I'm Juice Newton. A little Juice Newton, right?
There you go. I'm like,
the Queen of Hearts.
All right. So she's whispering to herself, nothing has changed. So now she's compartmentalizing everything. Exactly. And then she starts over explaining everything. I went I went to go get the bathing suit from Betty. And then after that, I went to Target to go get the Father's Day cards, which she had it. And then so I'm late. I missed the play. I'm so sorry. They're looking at her like, what's going on? She's never that, disheveled, never that unrehearsed. So then afterwards, she picks up the kids and they go into the grocery store to actually get the cards for Father's Day. And they're in the Brookshires in Smithville. Blech. The worst grocery store in all the world. The people there are very nice, but the produce and the meat, you don't buy your produce and meat there. It's you gotta go to your HEB and
Bastrop
or Lockhart. So she takes them home, and then she is starting to have to face up with cleaning up her messes. Candy calls her kids. She says she needs to she calls her husband to say, you need to get extra money for the movies. And he can sense something's not right, but he's kind of a ding dong, a ding dong.
I think he's a genius, but I don't think I think both of the men in this movie are just checked out.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. So in real life, Candace, when she goes, spoiler alert, when she goes to court for the crime, they ask her, have you been with other men before? She had affairs with the men in that town, like 5 other affairs. So this was not her first rodeo.
Oh, wow. New news.
New news. Yep. So
are their wives alive?
Their wives are alive. Yeah.
Okay.
So Sherry stops in her friend that they're making the business together, who's like you go get it, you go have your affairs. This is great, whatever. She picks up a card table. Those things are so heavy. Card tables are so heavy.
Well, especially back then. Those were not these plastic ones they have today.
Yeah. And then you see Alan leaving the airport. That airport was definitely AI generated. There's no way that is not what an airport back then looked like. There was no like walkway or runway. You just walked right to your gate back then.
Well, especially in central Texas. But that I guess I would have
that was been Dallas, maybe.
Yeah, DFW. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to pull it up because Target was so new when we were growing up. I was like, where was there a Target?
Exactly.
There was not a Target. The Target they're referring to is in Plano.
Yeah. Yeah. So she would have had to drive all the way. No, thank you. That would have been dumb. They could make their own cards anyway. So then it shows Candy at the pool with the kids, and she is at Northwest Pool over off of Shoal Creek in that area.
Oh, fun.
That we used to walk to when we would go to Granny's house.
Yeah.
That pool has been exactly the same for 75 years. It looks exactly the same. They have not updated it. They did add like some like I don't know what they're called, where you can get drinks and snacks and stuff like that. Little vending machines.
Yeah.
They don't have a concession stand.
Oh,
they used to, but it's hard to find workers to do that. They used to
they can't even find lifeguards. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
But I used to take my kids to that pool all the time because they had diving boards.
Yeah.
But they weren't like Garrison Pool diving boards where you had to climb like all the way up the high dive. They had low diving boards. So it was kind of low risk. And my kids loved it. It was like one of the public pools that I really loved to go to. Other than the Terrytown one, the Reed Park, I like that one as well because it's small. I used to do the kids' birthday parties over there all the time. But the Northwest Pool is one of my favorites. It's great for all ages. It even has a lap pool in there. So it's a good one. Lots of shade.
The great neighborhood park.
Yeah. So they go to the movies. They go and see Star Wars. I don't remember what episode. It may have been the first one. Candy's touching her wound on her head. Alan keeps calling for Betty. She's not answering. The dogs are barking still. The baby has been alone for hours and hours. He then calls different people in the neighborhood, and the neighbors go by and they said, no, it doesn't look like she's there. They don't really investigate that hard. but you could tell Alan is like, something's not right.
Yeah.
Then it shows the little girls playing on the playscape in the back of Candy's house. And it's one of those metal playscapes.
That would rock if you had too many people.
Exactly.
And the fire slides that would burn your skin.
Yes. I was like, oh, that is a trap that's dangerous. Get off of that.
And all the metal cuts that we got off of those things. Oh my God.
Surprised we didn't get like some kind of iron, like some kind of blood disease. So then Alan is at Sturgis Grill. There's a famous place, Sturgis Grill, that they do a lot of motorcycle biking and stuff like that. He's there for a business meeting, having like a steak and potatoes, but he's a nervous wreck still. So he calls his neighbors again. Can you please try to get inside the house? Something's not right. And so one of the neighbors is like, oh, I'll use my realtor key. They're all walking around with flashlights and the door,
and their coach shorts.
I noticed that. And they walked and the door was unlocked the whole time.
Yeah.
They could tell it's pretty eerie in there. It's definitely decorated 70s and 80s vibe with the golds and the greens. And so they're in the house and they start seeing blood everywhere. And then one of the guys opens the laundry room and sees Betty sprawled out and just bloody. And he's like, don't go in there. And then they hear the baby's covered in poop and probably throw up and all of that. And they wrap her up and take her to one of the neighbors' houses. Ugh. That poor baby had been there that whole day.
That episode is heavy.
Yes.
Heavy. I cried.
It's terrible. I can't imagine.
Just Alan's panic. And I'm just thinking about the 80s. Like, there's no cameras in your house. There's
nothing.
There's no these checks and balances that we have today. Thank God.
Yeah.
You're in a different state and you're having to call and try to get your loved one on the phone, and you're just the panic in that.
So sad. So sad.
Heavy.
So they call Alan and say, it looks like she may have been shot. He's like, we don't have guns in the house. How would this happen? Because he might be thinking about her postpartum and maybe that she had done it to herself. And so he's in shock and he calls Candy to tell her to not let Alyssa know. And wouldn't you know it, Candy and Pat are having sex. Would he not see all of the wounds on her body after getting in an axe fight? She can really compartmentalize. That's crazy.
This is where, like, I mean, I always had like uncomfortableness with her 100%.
Yeah.
And you guys, I knew none of the story when I started watching this.
Oh my gosh.
I knew none of this.
And I've heard it 1,000 times.
Yeah. This is all new news information to me. And then, it's unfolding. And I'm like, Candy is nuts.
Yes. We thought Betty was nuts the whole time.
No, I thought Betty was like having a
you could tell she was very depressed. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I know I became better with it, but when the kids were little and John was out of town, it was hard for me because I'm trying to juggle like the kids, school, church, groceries, dinner, all of it. And I would have some meltdowns here and there. And because it was just really hard. So I could empathize with Betty to some degree. Now when people go out of town, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have the house to myself.
Yeah.
I can watch whatever I want and nobody's gonna walk in and go, why are you watching that?
Yeah. Oh.
Then they show Alan and his armpits are really sweaty. And I was thinking, like, sometimes when people are extremely contained emotionally, I dated a guy that did this one time in high school. But if they contain their emotions a lot, they can still have a physical reaction to stress. And it could be extreme amounts of sweat, like soak your clothes level of sweat. So yeah, it can definitely. I was just very distracted by his hair and his sweat.
I love it.
So the police get into the house. Of course, there's like 5,000 people in that house ruining. They didn't put up any like tape or anything. Even the photographer comes in. He goes, "Why are there this many people in here? They're smoking cigarettes. They're like sitting in the chairs. Like there's not a dead body in the laundry room." I'm like, okay, this might even be a foreshadowing of what's to come in the future with the court case. So not a very well done situation, but they look at it and they're like, this must be a cult thing. So back in the 70s and 80s, everything would be blamed on cults. It was 60s, 70s, 80s. It was definitely like, oh, this was a cult thing. I remember even with the yogurt shop killings of the little girl, the teenage girls in Austin, they were thinking it was a cult thing as well. But so they're immediately going, this must be cults. And so that during that time it was a huge, nobody could see, like, it was a small sleepy town of Wiley. Like these things didn't happen. So that was their first go-to. But it didn't stay that way for long. So Candy's at the house. She picks up, again, there's tons of people. There's the forensic guy is going crazy. There's axe marks on the wall. Candy went back to the house after it had been cleaned up and to pick up some things for Alyssa. And she's looking at, this is when they have like she's looking at all the axe marks and stuff like that. So Candy, of course, people like, it's kind of getting kind of hinted like, wait, there might be the last person that saw Betty was Candy. So people are starting to kind of go, wait, did you not see somebody come in? What's going on? Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So
Charity, I have to admit something.
Yeah.
Okay. Today,
Yeah.
there's another series called Candy with Jessica Biel.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one's really good.
On Hulu.
Yeah.
I did see that as well, but I didn't realize
it's the same show.
They're depicting the same storyline.
Which one did you like better so far?
I felt like the other one was I didn't even realize it was based on a true story. I thought it was just like, an 80s story, a 70s, 80s story. And yeah, I think it's interesting when different people do the same story.
Yeah.
So close to each other. I don't know why that happens. It's like the script is out there and multiple people pick it up and start working on it and producing it, and they're like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and release it.
Yes.
You can't call yours Candy.
Yeah.
And so
I like this one because I like how the directors
David E. Kelly.
Yeah, and I just like the Smithville aspect.
I do too. I love the connections. I do. Yeah. And I don't even remember, like, I have a mental block. I know Jessica Biel was phenomenal in it, but that.
So you could tell they're talking about it. They go over for Betty's memorial over at the house. There's still some signs of the struggle that happened in the house, which I think is like, I don't know. I would have probably had it there, but nobody asked me. So then Candy has to, on Father's Day, go over to the police station. And while she's driving over to the police station, they're playing Sunday Girl song by Blondie. It's a perfect song for it.
I love Blondie.
I do too. And so they're in the police station, which is in the old bank on Smithville's main road. It's the white building.
Yeah, it's now a cute little shop, right?
It is, and they
Yeah.
still have the safe in there. You can see the safe.
Yeah.
And it has a big Texas flag on the outside of it.
Yeah.
It's a cute, cute building, but they have a little shop on the downstairs floor. So you can go in there, and that bank has been on that main street since 1890, by the way.
Oh my gosh, crazy.
Mhm.
And you can see the safe and everything and how small it was. And it's so cute. And can we go back to the memorial? Like
Yeah.
I thought and maybe this is a modern day thing, is the dog's reaction when they saw Candy to me was like, why isn't anybody noticing this? Why isn't
Yes.
anybody noticing this? I mean, I feel like
Yes.
the dog's reaction is always a really good sign. And
I agree. And they're two adorable Cocker Spaniels. And Cocker Spaniels can be hyper, but they're not like
well, they
that.
weren't barking at anybody else.
That's
But
right.
he walks in and the dogs lose their mind. It's like,
They can sense evil.
yeah. I have to also say, like, her parents, Betty's parents,
Yes.
really, I'm glad that storyline was shared.
Yeah, Bertha.
Yeah.
Bertha.
Yeah.
You people don't understand the lasting effects like something can have like this. Like, and
Yeah.
this for the kids, the parents. This is just an ongoing tragedy.
Yeah.
It's just
Well,
a tragedy.
and then the Halloween is like, people dressing up like, the who's under in trial and stuff like that is like, ah,
Yes.
that people
Yes.
dressed up like her mom and
Yeah.
that
Gross.
that
So Candy was telling the was telling the cops about being at the church and that she did see Betty, but she just ran in to get something, and that Betty was watching Phil Donahue. How much time did we spend watching Phil Donahue?
keep those down.
I love Phil Donahue. And then the sheriff's talking to her, but he has on the most ridiculous collar. And it was so distracting to me. I was just like, your collar is way too big.
You're so vain.
I know. So Candy's talking about what she was wearing, burgundy shirt and tennis shoes and jeans, but she really wasn't. And then they have a picture of her. Pat is mowing the lawn with his topsiders and long socks. That yard looks terrible to mow. It was all incline. And
Oh my God.
oh my God, why am I mowing the lawn so much in this movie? And then Candy's talking on the phone, and while she's acting like nothing's happening while she's cutting up her flip-flops into teeny tiny size cuts with scissors so that she can dispose of it and it won't be used as evidence against her, because they leaked to her that they saw that it must have been a woman because it was obviously a flip-flop that made the impression of the blood going into the bathroom. I have to tell you, Betty's nemesis, the preacher, was the one doing the service at the church, but he did a really good job. And it's probably one of the only times that I've ever heard a preacher say, this is not God's will. This is a monster did this. And I was kind of proud of him for not falling into that. This is what God would have wanted. No, God would not want any of his people to hurt another person. Like, I hate it when preachers do that. So
Yeah.
I was like, good for him. I'm sure Betty may be looking down on that going, thank you. You said the right thing. Anyway, so Candy's in her pulpit the whole time, acting like nothing happened. So they go back to the sheriff's office and there's a portrait of Jimmy Carter, my favorite president of all times. I don't care what anybody says about his record. I loved him. He was a kind human, probably one of the last kind presidents that we've had in a long time.
Yes, agreed.
Well, maybe I won't. All right. So they're questioning Alan about his marriage. And he tells them that they went to Marriage Encounter. And they ask him if he's had have any of them had an affair or anything. And he said Betty did have an affair with an old college student in New Mexico, and that she did it to kind of get back at him for traveling so much back in 1971. They ask about if he'd had an affair, and he denies and denies and denies. But then that night, he thinks better of it, and he calls the police to tell them that he had an affair with Candy Montgomery. And it leaves us with her feeling like things are getting closer to her because she can start feeling the pressure is on.
Ooh, that was a heavy episode, man.
Yeah, very heavy.
Yeah.
So we will be on episode 5 next.
Catch up.
Yes, catch up. If you want to come on and recount episode 5 with us, let us know. We're kind of releasing these quickly, but it only takes about an hour to watch.
That's quick.
Yeah.
It's quick. They're quick.
Yeah. And we told you everything up to it, so you only have to start at episode 5.
Or a lot of you guys did this with Hunting Wives, is either listen to our episode and then watch it and see how we did.
Yeah.
And let us know.
Yeah.
Or listen to us and then watch it and see how we did and let us know.
Wait, you just said the same thing.
No, listen to us. Listen to us. Or listen to us on the back.
Listen to us. Just listen to
us.
Either at the front or at the back end. Yeah, that's right. That's
on the front end or the back end, and let us know what you think and how we're doing on the retelling. Our big reason for this is all of the Smithville and Austin and all the historic thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're getting ready to get into the trial, and so it's not as much of the community. But fascinating how people can be manipulated.
For sure. I will say that the court case is going to be filmed in Georgetown. So that's the Williamson County Courthouse, by the way.
Okay.
So just kind of keep an eye out for it. I just love the little, where are we, you know?
Oh yeah, the little historic things. I'm gonna have to revisit the little the other one, the other version of this.
Oh yeah, I want to too. I'm probably gonna watch it after I'm done with this one, so I can kind of compare the two. I mean, I think Jessica Biel is an incredible actress, but Elizabeth Olsen is a great actress too.
Oh my gosh, I feel like in the other one she was sexier.
Well, you know, I think Elizabeth Olsen is sexy in the story, but I think she has very much this what she presents to people is very different. She doesn't want people to really know what's really behind the scenes. So
oh my gosh.
She's able to compartmentalize. Like
her compartmentalize is like I
cannot compartmentalize to that level.
And Alan's reaction moving forward and his shutdown, I feel like he completely shuts down. And he's compartmentalizing as well in a very...
Well, that's why he sweats so much. That's his release of the stress. Yes.
Oh, I'm like, boy, babe. Buddy.
Yes.
And her poor parents. Oh,
I know. Well, the kids. So
the kids,
Anyway, well, thank you for listening, and like and follow and share our podcast with at least 5 people a day.
5 a day. 5 a day. Make us your new vegetables. Make us your vegetables.
Yeah. We'll be on the food pyramid.
We're on the food pyramid.
Which doesn't exist anymore.
I know. It was so 80s.
But it was so 80s.
Yeah.
All right. I love you, Shell Bell.
Love you.
Texas.
Bye.
Yeehaw.